What is something you will never do again? Go into Walmart by myself without my service dog. Did it one time because we only needed one thing and felt like trying to go to a large building with lots of people completely on my own. Worst idea ever. Allow a romantic partner to subconsciously make me change who I am to fit their image. Never ever 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 again. The worst part is sometimes you don't realize it's happening until it's too late. Rinse off with a power washer. Trust a breeder. Buy a major appliance off a resale app. Eat the entire shroom all at once. Let another person control me or my credit. Suppress my personality. I probably will sometimes as I get the hang of being myself again. But I've grown tired of having traits projected onto me and then feeling pressured to curate my personality to fit those projections. Skydive. It was in Hawaii and it was amazing. However, I learned that 2 weeks later the same plane, pilot and my instructor all crashed with no survivors after a faulty takeoff with passengers on board. Now I would not take that risk again. Get married. Or have another child. And very possibly live with a man. I've had a fantastic boyfriend for 11 months now. And I still don't think I ever want to live with him or anyone. My ex-husband really sucks. Bend over backwards for someone that doesn't appreciate it. Center the needs of my partner over everything in my life. Ignore my gut feelings. Not speak up when I dislike something. Tolerate or forgive abuse because I'm in love. Give away too much of my past too fast to my partner. My ex ended up defining me by my trauma and not my resilience. I also think I wanted to speed up the bonding process. They just never have their mobile phone on loud anymore? Majority of the time, yeah, it's on vibrate. I have my sound turned on at night. In case of emergency. It's always on silent. Don't want to disturb. Mine's always on silent. If I miss a call, oh well. Joke. No one calls. Always on silent. Which is so funny. Because I used to, like most, use real money to buy ringtones in high school. Cringe. Mine had literally been on silent since the day I got it. Yeah. Constantly at only about 10% volume. Only time I turn it up is at a loud place where I want to hear if my kids call me or whatever. Always silent. But when you are an introvert, the sound of a phone ringing is like watching strangers turn around in your driveway. Who are they? What do they want? How'd they find me? And quat. Dunno what my ringtone is. Whenever I hear a phone ringing in public, I don't even bother looking around cause I know it ain't mine. I'll be here if you need to call someone in the middle of the night. Also me having it always on silent mode. Been on silent for about the last 5 to 6 years. Also all notifications from all apps turned off. Deleted Insta and Facebook about 2 years ago. It's truly liberating. My phone is always on silent, no vibration either. I'll check it when I'm ready to check it. Not when it tells me to check it. Mine has been on silent since I was a teen. You'd get in a lot of trouble for your phone going off during class. If it did ring or a message came, my family would tease me about who's contacting me. Going to church meant keeping it quiet. Naturally, I just kept it on silent when I started working too. If I miss a call or text, oh well. I will check my phone when I want. I don't want my phone to dictate when I should check it. They feel like they walk funny because they're constantly thinking about others watching them walk? Yes, lol. When someone is a few feet behind me. Definitely. All the time. I actively avoided walking places sometimes for this very reason. Yes, sometimes. Yes, but for me it's autism, Lamau. My mind as others are passing. Left. Right. Left. Right. Keep your knees bent, not straight. Don't scuff the ground. Foot do not twitch. No stumbling. I feel like my entire life. The only people who have had any friendly or romantic interest in me have been those who have mental or developmental conditions. My question is, why? Why is it that the only people who want anything to do with me are people with developmental disorders? I don't think I have a friend who is normal and quat. They all have mental health issues and most some kind of development issues. 4 basically accepted that only the oddballs like me, and that to be honest, though I can talk to anyone and form a basic relationship, I actually prefer the special people of the world. First of all, as time passes I wonder more and more if neurotypical might not be really that common. Second, you mentioned meeting friends in a psych ward, so it seems fair to think you are probably not entirely neurotypical yourself. Like gravitates to like. Especially in a smaller, more insular environment like high school. If you go to college, you're likely to expand your circle of friends. Especially if you expand your interests. Join clubs. Do volunteer work. Participate in study groups. Work part-time. Even if you don't go to college, a lot of these options are still available. As someone else who's spent most of my life around people on the spectrum, I also find that in any new situation I enter, any autistic folks present seem to gravitate toward me. I suspect it's primarily because most people treat them subtly different. Autistic people tend to get treated a bit differently. Even by folks who don't realize that they're autistic. If you're comfortable with them. If you create an environment that's comfortable between the two of you. That might be a rare thing for them. In terms of why no one else likes me? If you're a nice person. Maybe you just haven't found your niche yet. The world is wide. Don't make permanent evaluations like that about yourself. What advice would you give to forever alone people? Work on being happy with yourself. Every forever alone person I have ever met believes that being in a romantic relationship will fulfill them and make them whole. I've never gotten past a first date with a forever alone person because I cannot be what makes you whole. No other person is going to complete you. You have to be a whole person on your own. Develop your own interests and hobbies. Find what brings you joy and happiness. Find what invigorates you and gives you life. There's no such thing. Really. People who say it to other people are the hugest pieces of shit. Unless you're mentally challenged or have extremely high intelligence, there's someone. It gets hard when you get out of that bell curve of intelligence. But still, you really have to find your venue for meeting your kind. I have my own spots and most revolve around higher quality music, so I will go to classical music concerts, folk shows, do some jazz. That's me. I can play any instrument I want, so that's my venue. I operate well in those places, and people who see me as talented in those areas come find me. You have to be in your territory. You are doing amazing. Don't change anything. Relationships are pure poison. Stay away from them as much as possible. Good relationships only exist in fantasies and fiction. Television shows and movies paint extremely unrealistic pictures of relationships. Real relationships, on the other hand, are really taxing, especially relationships that involve other human beings. I understand that sometimes you might get influenced by movies/TV or social media, where people lie all the time. But remember, you have done all the hard work to successfully stay away from a relationship all this while. You cannot give in now. Else all your work for all these years would be wasted. Stay strong.